Oh, hello there. You came in and you look, I was expecting you to look a little disgusting, but you look a little bit more disgusting than I anticipated. I guess I haven't really been around too many of your kind here, but that's okay because I accepted the fact that, I've not seen someone like you before and you haven't seen many people like me before. So, thank you for taking this meeting with me. I want to make sure that we are all good. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to take some basic information from you. Yeah, I know you are sort of new. Um, and I want to just say that this may be a little bit overwhelming for you because you don't really know what's going on exactly. But you're really fresh faced. I kind of expected you to have that like cute look, but you kind of look like a little raisin right now. But you'll grow into it. You'll grow into it. That's okay. All right. So let me just get some basic information from you, okay? Because this is of course a meeting that I did set up with you. Well, technically not you. Technically, I did do it with your parent, but you do have authority in this matter, and I think I wanted to bring something to you that only you could really provide for me, okay? Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is do basics. So can you tell me your name? Okay, you don't have one yet. That's okay. If you wanted to come up with one right now, we could totally, we could brainstorm. I could just put NA. Is that okay? NA. Okay. And we know your age, that's for sure, and your date of birth. That's easy enough. Could we get... Okay, we don't really have any allergies or anything quite yet from you. We do have to go through a little bit of a checkup. I was sort of informed that that's going to be part of this meeting, so if you're okay with it, it's going to be important for what I want to discuss with you in particular, because I wanted to create, I wanted to pitch an idea to you, okay? And you do have the power to sort of go along with this idea. I know you're really new and you don't really know what's going on quite yet, but that's okay. Just hear me out, and I think you'll be really, really happy with where we end up, okay? Okay, so let's just do a basic checkup on you then, because, we want to make sure that you do fit all of the necessary standards that I'm looking for. Okay, so first thing that I need from you, I need you to be able to smell things. So I have here a little sort of an incense burner. I am going to put a new thing in here and I'm going to have you smell it, okay? So there. Can you smell that? Okay, good. What does that smell like? Despair. Okay, good. That's very good. Okay. Next, let's do that. Okay. Here, what does that smell like? Love. Okay, perfect. Honestly, I'm very impressed. You're fresh faced, but you're able to catch these scents really well. Okay, then what about here? Okay. You're thinking about it? Yes, that it was lust. I don't know how I feel about you sort of knowing what that is, but you know what? It's good that you do know. Okay, next I need you to, we're going to use this. I need you to, don't follow with your eyes, okay? What I need you to do is I'm going to point it in specific directions and I need you to smite it for me, okay? Just, it's made with very specific sort of magic repelling material, so you won't be able to destroy it, but it will be able to absorb the smite that you're able to sort of perform, should you be able to perform it, which would be very important for us, right? Absolutely. So if you could, right here, right there. So could you smite it? Okay, good. Right here. Good. 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 Ooh, that was a pretty powerful one. You did a really good job. Okay. Good. Perfect. Okay. And now I do think that I want you to be able to go above and beyond people of your kind, right? So I do want to measure you to make sure that you are, in fact, more of a, we need you to be a little bit of chonker, right? We need you to be a little bit chonky for this assignment that I'm pitching towards you, okay? Okay, so just, if you could, I know you don't have full control of your limbs quite yet, so if you could, okay, hold on, let me grab your little arms. Okay, I'm gonna put a little case on you. There you go, you look like you're being microwaved now, that's perfect, so. And then I'm just gonna wrap this around you. Stay still, please. And then just, perfect, okay, so that's, okay, decently chunky. Let's look at your height. It's also pretty chunky. Okay, good. Good, very impressive, very impressive. You know, so I'm going to take a few notes here. I'm impressed, to be honest. You know, I mean, anything is impressive to me. I'm not like you, but you know what? I can be pretty. Okay. Let's just get to the pitch. You know what? I don't have to jump the gun here. Okay, so let's just talk about what we're doing here, right? Yeah, but you're a bit confused. So, I do want us to create a new religion. Okay? Yeah, absolutely. Now, listen, I know you don't really know what a religion is quite yet, but think of it as like you need followers, right? You need people who will worship you. You need people that, will give you all of their love and attention, because, to be honest, this world is a really, really rough place, and, narcissism is very much on the rise. And so if you really wanted to, you could sort of harness a lot of that narcissistic power for your own gain, and really just rule sort of with an iron fist, just whatever you want, right? And I think that it's also, like, why create a new religion, right? Why create a new religion? Well, here are my big reasons to create a new religion, okay? Religions are a dime a dozen, but you can make it something really unique, right? Like, think about all these different religions that are being made today, right? Like Scientology, right? What is that? It's just the one that Tom Cruise is in. And it's very, they're not very creative anymore. We can really make something really unique, something that requires that's never been done before, right? You don't have to stick with the same old of like just plain worship and just like mindfulness, like, oh, boo-hoo, that's so tiresome, right? Yeah, I knew you would get it. I knew you would get it because just looking at you, you haven't been here for very long. But you definitely, you've gotten the gist of what I'm trying to say. Yeah, you're picking up what I'm putting down. So, as someone new to the scene here, I would say that you can show people how it's done, because you haven't seen it done before. You don't have experience, and I think that's exactly what we need. You know what they say? The best kings are the ones that don't want to be king. I personally find that to be an incredibly ridiculous statement, but there might be something true to it. Maybe someone who doesn't want to be king should be, because then they'll mess it up and we can blame them for it, because they never wanted it anyway. But of course, you're not trying to be king here, right? You're trying to be something higher than that. You're not even trying, you are, right? You are something higher than that. So I would also say a really, really good perk for going with a new religion is there's going to be no branding, right? Like a lot of these religions, they have really excessive branding, and the branding is like, it's informed by everything around it, right? Right now, we're in a solid state of like no branding whatsoever. We can start fresh, right? We don't have to, like the Abrahamic religions, right? They're stuck on the branding of each iteration that's come before it, right? And so now you're over here and you're just like, well, the branding of one is sort of affecting the other, and it's just it's a bit much, I would say. Just wipe the slate clean. Let's just start clean, right? Right. Okay. So, and then next, of course, is the market is just it's ripe. It's ripe for us um, to cultivate, right? Because it is filled with these wannabe religions. They call them cults, and a cult and a religion are very similar, but I would say that cults are very specific in that there is one person at the top, but you're not a person, right? So you wouldn't have a cult. It wouldn't be a cult. You would be something completely different, right? Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so as we said, the market is ripe, and cults are going to be sort of the thing that we need to be aware of, right? People are trying to make new religions, but they're getting sidetracked with cults, right? And so I'm here to meet with you to let you know that we don't need to do a cult, right? You are not a person, so we don't have to do that. Now, of course, this leads us to what kind of leader do you want to be, right? What kind of God do you want to be? Because that's what you are, right? You are God. And so, and to be honest, I think that I would love to be your advisor, right? I would love to sort of be your right-hand man, the person that you would sort of send forth to spread the word, as it were. That would put me in a pretty precarious position. I do understand that a lot of these people end up being killed, but you know what? That's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make if it means that you could, grant me eternal salvation of some kind, right? Or maybe I'm thinking too small, right? Maybe you could ascend me to a higher plane where I have my own powers, and then I could make my own religion. It's just sort of like a maybe. Okay, so hear me out. Maybe you recruit a few people like me to sort of spread the word, right? And we recruit people underneath us, and sort of they harness the power of worship to me and the people like me, and we harness our worship towards you. And that way it creates a nice little pyramid for us to sort of exist within, that you would be at the top, I would be close to the top, and then there'd be a lot of the people underneath. And then afterwards, we could just split, right? And then the pyramid would just collapse and crumble. And then afterwards, we'll be honky-dory. But anyway, if you didn't want to do that, we can also say what kind of leader you want it to be. I think you should be future forward, which is absolutely look into the future. I do think that is one of your abilities, correct? Absolutely, yeah, you can look into the future. If you could instill that within me so that I could tell people what might happen, and so that when it happens, they could believe me, I think that would go a long way, because people are really skeptical nowadays. Well, with like TikTok, I think that it's just really, people are really skeptical, right? And there is, of course, we do have to compete with the gross sort of the creation of AI now, where suddenly everybody is just using AI, and some people are starting to believe that itself is like a sentient being that has a higher power, right? But that's not you. So I say we should make sure that I'm able to compete. And of course, next, I think we should be really transparent, right? You should really be really transparent. You should show yourself, shake hands with people, touch a few babies, kiss their foreheads and whatnot, once you're older. Because I think it would be a little bit strange the way that you are now. Like, it's sort of like your peer. But I will say that you should be a lot more present, right? I think that's something that religions sort of get. It's part of religion that's really hard to. What's the word I'm looking for? There's a cognitive dissonance is what I'm trying to say, right? There are people that are in the religion, but they have to have faith. And you know what? We don't need them to have faith because you do exist. And so you will be there. And of course, I think as a kind of leader, there is space for you to be very power hungry. I think that would be very helpful for you because then you have a goal, right? If you're very power hungry, then you're looking towards this direct goal, and so you're going to be motivated, right? This is something that we need to talk about. A lot of gods are very lazy, and I don't think you want to be that kind of god, right? So, power hungry. And then, of course, this will change with age, right? So right now you might be power hungry, or right now you might have a particular idea, but it might change with time. And I think that's why you need me to be there as your sort of like advisor. I think that would be very, very helpful. I am putting myself in a very precarious position. You can't smite me down at any time, but I do think that given time and given, of course, your parents' permission, I think that would be, that would be for the best so that we could cultivate. Think of it like a high yield savings account, right? You're putting some effort into this. You're putting some of your power aside, and I'm just the banker that's helping you with that. Yeah. Does that make sense? Absolutely. Okay. So how are you feeling? Good? Okay, good. All right then. So I'm really glad that we had this meeting so that I could pitch a new religion to you, and you as a baby god, of course, you probably need some time to think about this. So I'm really glad that we took this meeting. And do you want me to wait in sort of like the ethereal waiting room, or should I just go back to the summoning circle that I entered this realm from? Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So I'll just head back. You can just summon me back whenever you want. I can see your parents are sort of like, they're getting a little bit antsy. Like, why am I talking to you for so long? You are just a baby. But you are very powerful. And so I just wanted to get those ideas in you before, before your parents sort of recruit you into whatever religion they're trying to do, because, nepotism is really, it's really running rampant. And do you really want to be a nepo baby? You're already a baby. Right? You don't need to be a nepo baby and a baby. One thing at a time, right? Absolutely.